What the hell is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ozzy's Drives. You might notice I'm sitting in a very loud car, so forgive me for shouting, but it's a Nissan Skyline, and it's the GTT version that has been conversioned to the GTR, which is of course a very crazy car. So before we go into the history and talk about the car, let's take it for a drive. So we have about 500 horsepower from the RB25DETT engine, which has been tuned with G-Ready exhaust systems and turbocharger and all of that. So let's just experience it a little bit. Holy shit. I'm actually a little scared, to be honest. What the hell am I driving? Oh! Holy crap! It's a monster! What the hell am I driving, man? The turbo boost comes after 4,500 RPM, so it's very difficult to drive. There's absolutely no power underneath 4,000 RPMs, and you need to shift down into the first gear and then come up to the corners here. Holy, what the fuck am I driving today? Oh my God. I constantly feel like the car is trying to kill me, man. I need to concentrate, forgive me, because this is really, I don't even know what I'm driving right now, man. It's really difficult to drive. It is, I can't even explain it in words. It's so difficult to drive. It goes good around corners, it handles those bumps very good, but the engine response is something completely... Wow! Wow! What the hell is going on? Woohoo! What the hell is going on? Holy shit, man! Never in my life have I feel so unsafe in a car. But it's just so vulgar. Oh my God, man. And I smell the oil and the petrol. I don't even know if everything is all right with the car, because it's literally, it's going into my system. It's like the petrol is making you addicted. 4.5. You know what? I'll try to launch it. I'm not even sure if I can do that, man. No power at all. Let's do it one more time. What the hell is going on? Holy crap, man. This just doesn't feel right. Okay, it's time to let the car cool off a little because that was fucking ridiculous. That was one of the craziest drives in my life, man. I am kind of scared. I'm really so scared somehow because it doesn't feel safe. I'll be completely honest with you. It feels so dangerous. It's such a dangerous car to drive. I really can't even explain it. I need to let the car cool off because the engine temperature went over 120 degrees and I don't want to cause it to overheat. Let me gather my thoughts and let's go back to the history of this car while I continue to drive normally until the car cools off, to give you another round of whatever the fuck this was. Okay, so holy crap, man, I'm so sorry. I need to gather my thoughts. So let's begin with the Skyline. Where did the Skyline come from? Well, the history is basically this. In 1969, the first Skyline came to the market. It was a brilliant looking car. It came from a company, Prince, which was then later, well, basically, Skyline took over, Nissan took over and called the car the Nissan Skyline. So 1969 to 1971, the car was built. They put an R380 race engine into this car, into the Skyline, and slightly detuned it to 160 horsepower. And it basically was a limousine with 4 doors, destroyed everyone. Then in 1971, they brought out the coupe because they understood, okay, a smaller car with a big engine will beat a lot of people. White car, and it was a brilliant success story. In 1972, they brought out the second generation Nissan Skyline, which looked more of an American car. It was called the Ken Mary. It looked like a muscle car. And it had, they only could produce 197 of those cars because the world was in a bad place in terms of fuel, petrol and oil. It was the oil crisis back then. The car disappeared for a long time up until 1989, where the third generation Skyline came out, which is called the R32. Destroyed everything and was a complete berserk of a car. Won everything, won absolute everything. RB25DETT, turbocharged, and all of those beautiful things. Inline 6-cylinder. They even had an agreement to call the car a 280 horsepower car because they didn't want it to brag, but it was well over 300 horsepower strong. Okay, I think the car has cooled off a little. Then the fourth generation R33 came out, all-wheel drive also. Very, very crazy car, also very successful in races. There were some bunch of Le Mans cars and all of that. Very interesting versions and conversions of that car. One was even called 400 with 400 horsepower from the RB26DETT engine. And then is the one we're driving today, the R34 Skyline. And this one is not a GTR, it is a GTR conversion, it's the GTT. And that's why I'm scared, because the GTT has a rear-wheel drive only. The GTR is an all-wheel drive car with the RB26DETT, which would be a 2.6 liter with 280 horsepower. This is the RB25DETT Neo with 280 horsepower, also turbocharged, but it has been tuned to the absolute max. 500 horsepower and about 650 Newton meters of torque. Manual gearbox, rear-wheel drive. And it feels absolutely terrible and cool at the same time to drive. It's frightening, it's sick. It's absolutely sick. How does it go around corners? It goes around corners brilliantly. It's really good. It has a good suspension. I don't even know which suspension is on here, but it feels very good going around the corner. Steering wheel wise, it feels brilliant. The Skylines were known for technology back then, and the R33 was the first car that was able to lap the Nürburgring under 8 minutes. It broke the world record, man, because it was the first kind of normal car that could drive that fast. It had all-wheel drive, it had four-wheel steering and all of those beautiful things since the first Godzilla came out. So it was a technical revolution. And the R34 was the same, a technical revolution, something very, very crazy, a powerful car that was forbidden, the forbidden fruit in the US, for example. European market, you could get it, but I'm driving a right-hand car because, of course, there was no conversion to it. So absolutely brilliant. This car has been tuned to the max. We will drive a GTR, an original one, so I can talk about it also without being scared, but this is just basically a drive that we wanted to give you to let you experience what this means. It's sick. It's very great around corners. It shifts kind of rough. The throttle response is incredible. Let me tell you, it's incredible. It's immediate. The power lag is also very big because it starts after 4,500 RPMs, and it's just mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and I have never driven something like this. It's really scary. And yeah, that's all we can say about the Nissan Skyline GTT. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn and drive back up so you can enjoy a little more. You can tell by the clutch, I mean, it's so difficult to drive. It doesn't hook very well. It's really, really difficult. All right, so the car has cooled off. Let's continue. I have cooled off myself too. So let's experience it a little bit on a wider road, because the narrow roads were really not good for this car. So second gear, very powerful. Hopefully I can give you a better image of how this car drives. It is absolutely sick, and you really have to keep it on the boost and on the power, otherwise nothing happens. I feel like I'm driving much too fast, although I'm really not. I'm really not driving too fast, but the feeling you get when driving this car is just terrifying. It's really terrifying. You're scared constantly because the behavior is kind of strange. It's really unusual in today's terms. It's an old car. It's over 20 years old, and it's just very difficult to explain to somebody that's never driven it. The only power spectrum is right from 5,000 RPMs to about 7,500 RPMs, and that's it. It's really, really crazy. It's really, really dangerous. So with that said, let's just pound it, man. Whoa! 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 But it goes around corners so brilliantly. 1.4 tons. It's very good. Look at that. It works brilliant around corners, man. Whoa! The sound! It's frightening. It's not a normal sound, it's frightening. It frightens you. And overtaking maneuvers are also very difficult because you can't really do it over 3,000 RPMs. You have to rev it over 5,000 RPMs, and there's absolutely no power below 4,500 RPMs, man. So it's such an interesting feeling to drive it. It's really unheard of. Whoa! Heel and toe. The clutch is so hard. Whoa! It is so scary. In second gear. Holy shit, man. Friends, I think you got the message. One of the most incredible cars I've ever driven. I'm very happy I could do it. Very thankful for all of you for being a part of Aziz's Drives, for helping out us, for just being here, just giving us the opportunity to film those cars. I'm really so thankful. I'm glad we could film this car, man. It's it's the sickest car I ever drove. To be honest with you, it's frightening, it's sick. I hope you enjoyed the video a lot. I know I couldn't give you a lot of technical information because I was scared shitless, but I'm happy I could take you on that adventure, man. So thank you very much, and see you on the next one. Goodbye. This is so crazy, man. I need a little bit of fresh air, man. It's just fucking ridiculous. Let the turbochargers relax a little, like maybe a minute. So the oil flows. Oh my God, man, this is just absolutely sick. This is sick. This is really sick. Sick, sick, sick. Nothing else to say. Let me get out of here, man. What the fuck is going on?